Namaste, beautiful souls. I'm wanting to chat about the attack on our hearts. So many people are reporting in to me that there's something nefarious going on in terms of the infiltration to our heart center. This has been going on for me personally, and so every time I hear from one of you guys, I'm aware that it's just this powerful confirmation that if it's happening to me, it's happening to a lot of us in the collective. One of our beautiful soul sisters that many of you know from Facebook has had a direct attack, and it's not up to me to speak to what's going on, but viewing it psychically, I'm aware she's a very high dimensional being, very powerful. She's the kind of woman that you just can't put into a box, and those women are dangerous to the establishment because they can't be sequestered with their consciousness into any particular arena. Algorithms can't, in AI, cannot keep up with these kind of women because they're always trying to put you into some sort of drop-down box or some kind of parameter. And then once they've got that parameter, once they've got you held in that parameter, they can put a ring around you, a rope around you, a boundary around you, and keep your consciousness sequestered. This is why we must speak about fake woke, because it's an insidious trap. So new age, new cage. It's not that I don't speak about a lot of new age principles, of course that I do. And having run a consciousness business for 25 years, I know I've been fake woke. I own it. I've been fake woke, guys. Of course I have. Like we all have, right? We all got conned into certain ways of thinking and thought, oh yeah, that's how we think now, and that's what we do now, and we make sure that everyone knows that, you know, we're either a vegan or we're, you know, we don't wear fur, or I don't know, they're probably two blatant examples. There's other more insidious examples that I can't call to mind right now, but speak to those ways that we don't know we've trapped ourselves in a certain way of thinking, because we are good souls and we're good-hearted and we want to do the right thing, and sometimes new age can be very tied up in what's politically correct, and that's when you could be in trouble, because if you're doing something that's PC and not to offend someone else, you have been shut down in your original thinking. You have been shut down in your ability to source your knowing in each now moment. Belief systems should be all thrown out. What do I know to be true in this now moment? That's all that there is. So I'm going to put my hand up. You know, I've been fake woke. I've been it all. We all have. Anyone who pretends that they haven't, I find that hilarious personally. It's just like, yeah, we're all human. We're all on the planet. We're all going through similar awakenings together, and you know, the more you go through your soul journey, the more you incrementally awaken, and the more you know, review things, and something that had a certain meaning one day will have a completely different meaning the next. I got a beautiful message from a soul sister who found me on I've got a couple of series, so a series with a few shows, so a couple of series, so lots of shows in on the Iconic Network. So that's David Icke, Jamie Icke, Gareth Icke. They're an amazing UK truther channel, the biggest, obviously, you know, if you know David Icke, the biggest UK truther channel. They'd rival a lot of the US channels. You know, we in Australia, we're trying to keep up. We don't have the population. It's not fair. Hey, we're out there, us Aussies, we're out there. We know what's going on. We're doing our thing. It's an amazing light worker community in Australia. And of course, where I'm filming from now, I'm in beautiful Vanuatu. Back in the day, it used to all be part of Australia. So the landmass used to be joined. And then, you know, over the eons of time, it did separate. And thank God it separated, guys, because like some of the dark cabal shit that's going on in Australia, you know, I can move over here to Vanuatu, where we live off the land, and we, you know, many live off the sea, and it's just, it's divine. The people here are so kind, so heart-based, and it really helps me get in touch with why they're after our heart. So anyway, I'm going off on tangents, but this beautiful lady contacted me And she said, I'm rewatching your second series on the Iconic Network. And she said, I have grown so much since doing those shows and then following you on Facebook. And she said, the original meaning of what you were saying when I first watched your shows has changed. And I know exactly what she means. For me, as a yogi for so long, it's the same with the Yoga Sutras. You go back and you read the sutras, and what it meant to you when I started yoga, when I was 16, but got into the philosophy when I was around 22, really got into it quite strongly, had to, because I was way off the rails, and I needed a spiritual practice to discipline myself and pull myself out of the dark hole that I'd put myself in. And so what I would have thought the sutras meant then compared to what I believe they, or what I feel or sense they are now, completely different things, completely different. So things change as you change. So this is why I say, we've all been a little bit fake woke at times, unknowingly. It was from good intention. And I take people, from their intention. Some people come onto my page and try to school me and instruct me and say, it's all love. If we just love, then we get through this. But after having taught, and I've literally taught thousands, and I mean thousands of practitioners from every single continent, either as a yoga teacher or as a healer, and I mean a proper traditional yoga teacher. None of this, we just do postures and, have our tights fair up our butt so we can, really just, get it out there on Instagram. None of that. I mean, if you want to do that, that's cool, but that's not what our school or my school is about. It's so much deeper. It's so much deeper. So I can assure anyone that wants to come onto my page and tell me that, if we just love it all away, we'll all be okay. I've taught the ways of love. I have a lineage already after 25 years. I'm doing my part, guys, when it comes to anchoring love. Trust me, you do not need to come here and school me about what love is and if we should just love and light it. Love and light is one of the PSYOPs, the psychological operations that came through that New Age, New Cage movement. A lot of it is, as I said, is wonderful. It's so great. A lot of it, though, has now been hijacked by that PC, fake woke. It's a political agenda. They're trying to sequester you into a box. It doesn't work. So this beautiful soul that has, many of you know, that has been, I'm going to say it from my perspective. She may not say she's been attacked, but I wonder if, it's what I'm talking about at the heart. They're going for the heart because they cannot contain these kind of individuals. So many of you listening to me, you are exactly the same. You cannot be contained. There's soul brothers here, soul sisters here who you just know what you know, you feel what you feel, you sense what you sense, and you trust yourself. You've got to a real powerful point of self-love where you are willing to trust yourself over and above anyone else. It might have been someone you followed for years on social media, love everything, but then they bring out this post and it's like, I don't align. So in that moment, you don't make them wrong. You just choose that what you know to be true is true. That's it. Nothing else. We don't have to put people down, make them wrong. Maybe if they posted a few times and it was really off alignment with you, you would unfollow them. You would know, okay, and you'll see it. You'll see, I am observing, there's a couple anyway that I'm observing, and hey, I could be one of them next, that I can see their egos are getting involved because they've been leading people, they're getting a really good traction on their social media. Suddenly they're consciousness teachers, and you think, well, how? Okay, yeah, they've moved through a lot personally in their life. They've helped people get through the last few years of all this rotten cabal mess and help people wake up. But just because you've got a lot of followers does not make you suddenly a consciousness teacher that should be instructing people what to do. Now, that could be controversial because some people will say to me, but, we should all be able to guide people. There's nothing wrong with that. And I would say that's true to a point. but you could easily trip into that whole new age, new cage, fake woke box, thinking that you know the way for others, when you don't have the experience to truly understand how consciousness works, or to truly know how to hold space for people. And when I see people, and I love you all, and this could be you, when I see people constantly saying on their social media, reach out to me anytime, just message me, I'm always there, I'm always available, I wonder what you're actually doing to yourself, because to have that level of availability for other people's stuff, you will get buried under that. No one comes before you. You're not a free and easy, like, grab at your energy field at any time. That's not what this is about. This is always about self-mastery, filling your own cup first, and then overflowing, rippling that consciousness out for the collective. That is a higher way of serving than always being available on your messaging systems that keeps you connected to your device. And this is what I want to get into about how they're coming after our hearts. So I recently got a new phone, a new iPhone 15. I wish I hadn't have. I got it because I need two phones, two numbers, one in Australia, one in Vanuatu. And because I do a lot of filming of content for our My Health TV and other bits and pieces, sometimes coming on here, I thought, oh, it's got a good camera, this will be great. So ever since I've had it, I have had the weirdest frequency going up through, and I often hold the phone in my left hand, going up through my left arm, straight into, if anyone knows meridians, you got your pericardium and your heart and your pericardium meridians here, moving up and then targeting into your heart. So pericardium is the muscle that surrounds the heart. That's your gateway. It's like your protector energy of your heart. So it's traveling up there and it's affecting that area. Even my old phone, if I'd hold it for too long, if I was on social media for too long or using the device for too long, same sort of frequency. But this one is very aggressive. And, I'm getting all the EMF protection things that I need to help me out. Got lots of crystals. Doing what I can. One of the best things to do is to go and do, for those of you who know yoga, go and do downward facing dog. So basically put your hands down into the earth and then apex up through your hips, and then press your heels down. So you've got all 4 points, mama points, chakra points, from the hands and the feet going down into the earth. So you just move the electrical charge out, the false electrical charge out through your hands and your feet. That I'm having to do that all the time, hugging trees, the whole works. Like it's crazy. So there's this extra aggression that's going on in terms of this targeting through our devices, but it's coming in other ways. There's so many different ways that we are currently being targeted, and it's specific for the heart for many of us. So for me, just to even get here to Vanuatu, I've just moved into a new home. I've previously been living here, for anyone's been following me on Facebook, I've previously been living in Vanuatu, but I was just renting. And I decided, that's it, I'm going to move here permanently. This is, developing a new earthscape here. And wow, I cannot... this video would be so long if I told you all of the blockages that went on for me to actually finalise the settlement or the purchasing of this home and to actually move in. Every step of the way in the system, there was some breakdown, some mistake, not necessarily even by humans. The banks I ended up losing thousands of dollars in exchange fees for internal mistake in the bank. I literally had to fly back to Australia. I was supposed to move in. I literally had to fly back to Australia and wait it out. And every day I had to go through process after process after process, dealing with the system. It felt like I was like running. I was running through this like toxic AI suit, going, I just want to get to that one, I just want to get to that, come on. And it's like all of the archaic, negative reptilian plugs, they're all in there. And I'm like pulling them out one at a time, oh, come on, like, and they're just holding on to me and not wanting to let me go. Finally, I broke through, but it was hard yakka. Is that an Australianism? Hard yakka. It's hard work. It was hard work on every level. But mainly I'm here to talk about the energetic level. What this focus on the heart is, because they do not want you unplugging. They do not want you unplugging. So many of you are unplugging. So many of you are galactivating. So many of you are waking up to your higher dimensional selves. And once those big boys, big girls wake up, it's game over for that negative frequency. I watched The Never Ending Story again the other day. Oh my God. My dog looks like Falcor. Like he's the spinning image of Falcor. He is Falcor for me he's Falcor. But they call the force that sucks life out of everything, they call it the nothing. And it's the same as what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the nothing. We're dealing with an invisible force that can hijack humans, can interweave. It's created these systems, of course, banking systems. It's the energy that poisons the food, that has the chemtrails in the sky, that wants to jab you, that wants to lock you down, that has put chemicals in our water, like all of this force that sucks life force out of everything. So in the Never Ending Story, they call it the nothing. Yeah. It's everywhere. It's everywhere and it's nowhere. And I'll tell you why it's everywhere and it's nowhere, because it mimics God, Goddess, or the divine, or source, whatever you call that energy. And God, Goddess is everywhere and it's nowhere. And so it's a mimicking of that, but it's the inversion of that. God, Goddess, source frequency, source code promotes, I won't say life, it promotes evolution. It promotes evolution, because this is sometimes where you get into a bit of fake woke. If I said it promotes life, you might suddenly go, oh, so death is bad. No, death is not bad. It's part of the natural order. So I need to say it promotes evolution. The nothing sucks life force, purity, innocence. It's a devolution. It sends you into a regressive, negative, demonic timeline, where your consciousness is completely sequestered and it is fed off, it is devoured. You are a loosh, or you are a battery supply for it. Now, many people will think it's out there. It's not out there. It's everywhere, and it's nothing. It's aspects of self. It's unresolved aspects of self. You might only carry a minute droplet of it because of your consciousness work and how much development you've done. But the collective might be carrying high quotients of it. So it feeds into the hologram that we're all a part of. And we're seeing it everywhere. And so awakening is the best thing anyone can do at this time, personally, deeply, privately, because then that frequency adds, and it's a balancer to the nothing. You don't have to take the nothing out. You just have to transcend the nothing, and then enough of us transcend it, and the nothing ceases to exist. Now, it sounds like I'm speaking in riddles, but I'm sure many of you are keeping up with me. So the nothing is now at a point where it can target the heart. Now, many people would call the nothing AI, the beast, the Antichrist. It really doesn't matter what language you use for it. It's the knowing of that force. It's satanic. There's obviously rituals then, if you know about the satanic side. People willingly get in and do these rituals and gear up this energy. And we may not even call them people, we call them entities. there's many entities here on this plane and in other planes. But so many of us, so many of you are galactivating, and the nothing, is nothing compared to that force. So be aware, protect your heart. One of the greatest things that you can do for heart protection is to do a really simple chant. For those of you who love sound therapy and sound healing, you make the yum. So it sounds like yum, Y-U-M, but in Sanskrit it's Y-A-M, but it's said yam. And so we do this chant, and you can just walk around doing it, and it creates this frequency, this force field around your heart that protects you. So we inhale. I already feel so good. Normally I'd do 3. Do as many as you like, cruise around, put on Hertz music, wear green or pink crystals. These are frequencies that can support the heart to remain, very, very awakened, very, very joyous, very centered. Everything does come down to the heart. It's why in yoga we pull the hands together into prayer. We're pulling the feminine, masculine, or the God, goddess, the polarities, we pull them to the center. So when you think about the chakra system, either the 7 chakras or the earth and the galactic chakras, doesn't matter, it all pulls into the heart. And then it creates the electromagnetic field that can touch all corners of the omniverse. So the heart is your center. You pull the polarities into the center. So you must remain aware. If you feel that there's something off with your heart frequency, shut down the devices, get out into nature. Guides are telling me, get into water. They're saying, guides are currently coming through and they're saying to me, get into water, get into water. Water, very, very, very important. They're saying ocean of emotion, they're saying to me. So, protect your emotional, watery self, protect your cells, hydrate. The more good hydration you have, the more that your DNA will come online for you pretty quickly if you have good cellular hydration and you're getting good photonic light. And I know they're doing chemtrails and I know it's not fair, but wherever you can get photonic light or visualize photonic light, this is what's happening as we can't move through Earth. I'm talking about moves into ascension. She's lining up with the photonic, she's in the photonic belt at the moment. She's lining up with the galactic center. So this is full blast of light coming in. Everything gets exposed in that light, everything. So anyone who's deceptive, devious, they'll get in their own hall of mirrors and they won't be able to get out of it for a while. It's like being in a maze trapped by your own nasty reflection. That's what's coming. We're coming to the end of this galactic cycle, and shit's gonna go down. Welcome to the show, everyone. Yeah, we're all in it. I tell you, I know I balanced some karma getting into this house. And for those of you who, have been following me for a while, last year I made a really, really bad investment. And, whoa, did I have to balance some karma there. And it's still ongoing. I'm nearly out of that. And I maybe have some updates for some of you very soon. But, yeah. Anyway, I found myself in New Earth, and my mum Zoe says that for her, Dimension 7 is the ancient nature goddess, and that's that's who I'm becoming. So yeah, stay in touch with all your dimensional fields. The more you stay in touch with them, the more you'll quickly be able to transmigrate your soul into a new frequency, template, location on Earth. You'll have to, balance your karma to get there, like I did. You can't get out of it. You just keep breathing through it, and you trust that you're a good soul, you're a good heart. Whatever you've done in previous timelines, you got to balance it. It's okay, but you'll get through it. You'll be okay. Yes. Anyway, that was my big rave. I am sending you all so much love. Protect your heart. Your precious heart is the frequency they're most scared of. You know, do some visualizations, see your heart, electromagnetic field, just touching all corners of the omniverse. Nothing is more powerful than you. Well, the nothing certainly isn't. So sending you all much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.